Welcome in, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Monday, August 4th. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Great to see you on the call today. Today, we're going to be doing our final expense coaching call, and we're going to be talking about handling those common objections. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt Alina, and I oversee the life markets team here at URL. I used to just manage the final expense team, but now they've given me the full reins of the department. And final expense has been something that I've been doing for the last 10 plus years, where I've been managing that. And so I kind of know the lay of the land, and I hope that you do too. So let me talk real quick about the final expense coaching call. I highly encourage people to take notes, grab coffee or whatever your beverage is of choice, and let's conquer the day. It's a coaching call, so that means you can also ask questions here. We'll take your questions towards the end of today's presentation. There's a few of you that are on the call today that are brand new to URL, or you're brand new to final expense. So let me first give you an overview of what we call our final expense architect program. It is valuable training. We provide all the training. We'll lay down the groundwork for you so that we're not just throwing contracts at you, throwing carriers at you, but actually giving you the tools necessary to be successful in the final expense marketplace. Final expense is a high demand. It's a fun business. It's not easy, but it's a simple product to sell. We do have various lead resources. For some of you that are coming from the Medicare side of things, those Medicare clients of yours, those are your final expense clients. And for those of you who have final expense leads, final expense prospects, those can also be your Medicare leads. It kind of goes hand in hand. Both markets, both final expense and Medicare, are going after the same carrot. We're going after the same age and demographic. When you partner with URL, you automatically get top contracts. We automatically provide day one vesting. For those of you who are new to the business, what is vesting? Basically, it means that the clients, or your clients, your commissions, or your commissions, they follow you wherever you go. When you partner with URL, you are partnering with a company, with a brokerage that has experienced sales and marketing support. I myself have been in the business for 25 plus years. Most of my colleagues here have 15, 18, 20, 25 years of experience as well. So when you call URL, when you email URL, you understand that please understand that you are dealing with people that know the ins and outs of the life insurance landscape. When you partner with URL and you partner with some of these carriers, they incentivize you doing business with them. How do they do that? With incentive trips. So if you like to work hard and you like to play hard too, a lot of the carriers do provide some nice incentive trips as well. And you have about 20 or so different companies to choose from. When it comes to leads, by the way, I don't want to jump to the next slide until I get into that. When you purchase leads, URL will help subsidize your lead costs through bonuses, through different incentives that we have. So we want to partner with you. We want to work alongside you to help you grow that business. Now, to that point, when it comes to lead subsidies, I request, and I shouldn't even say request, I require that if you want us to subsidize your leads, you have to send me a weekly production report due by Friday at 12 noon. Now let's get into this week's and this month's topic. It is called Overcoming Some Sales Objections. Before I get into how it pertains to what we do, let's all kind of think about that time where we've gone furniture shopping. Let's say we're looking for that new sofa or that new dining room table or kitchen, whatever. You go into a furniture store, and I feel like when I go into a furniture store, The salespeople are like vultures. You walk in the door and somebody gloms onto you immediately. You can't even get a breath before somebody is on there. Hi, can I help you? And what is your response when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hi, can I help you?" The automatic response is, "No, thanks. I'm just looking." So it's a pre-programmed response. We're going to kind of browse around the showroom. We're not, we don't know what we're looking at. We're just kind of taking a look and seeing what's catching our eye. Part of the problem is we don't want to be bothered. But at the same time, we need to be sold and shown where we can find certain things in the store, or they can ask some different questions. Now, there's a way that the salesperson um, can approach you. Instead of saying, "Hi, can I help you?" say, "Hi, what brings you in today? Is there something that I can help you find?" Something like that, and being more specific. That way, you're not just saying, "No, thanks, I'm just looking." So, when it comes to what we do, final expense carries over into Medicare and other lines of insurances. The objections that you're going to hear are objections like, "I'm not interested. Now is not a good time. I can't afford it. I need to think about it," or "I need to speak to insert name." Could be husband, could be wife, could be son, daughter, niece, nephew. You get the picture. "I'm not interested. Now is not a good time. I can't afford it. I need to think about it," or "I need to speak to blah." So let's talk about some of these things. Now, let me give you a few sales tips before we jump into this. Find out the prospect's why. So if somebody says to you, "I'm not interested," but yet they're the ones that sent that lead card back or they filled out that information online, there was a reason they did it. Find out why they did it. What was going through their mind at the time? Also, when you are meeting with somebody, whether you're at their home or they come into your office, if they are married, avoid one-legger appointments. For those of you who are fairly new and you're not sure what that terminology is, what is a one-legger? I'm married. So if I were to go and meet with an agent about final expense and I'm married, you're going to give me a really good, compelling argument, compelling presentation as about final expense and what it's going to do for me. My response to you is, "I appreciate the information. I need to go talk to my wife." Or the other way around, my wife would say, "I need to go talk to my husband." So avoid one-leggers. If you're dealing with a married individual where their spouse is still with us, make sure they are both there or don't conduct the appointment. Make sure they are both there or don't conduct the appointment. Only dealing with one of the two married people of a couple, that's considered a one-legger. Avoid them at all costs. When you are talking to them and you get to know some of the objections, and the objections that I provided at the beginning, those are the typical objections that you're going to get. There's very few others that you're going to get. You want to be, you want to take down their guard. You want to be ahead of them, and you want to bring up the objections in your presentation. I'm going to show you how to do that. And last but certainly not least, folks, ask for the sale. You have to ask for the sale. You're probably going to ask for the sale at least 3 times, 4 times. Very few people are going to be easy lay down sales. Objections are hurdles. So let's talk about the first hurdle, which is, "I'm not interested." Here's how I recommend you respond. And I hope you're taking notes. And we are recording this so that you have the ability to go back and you can say to the client, "Of course not." Now, if you're, and let me break this down. "I'm not interested." If you're calling them and they've filled out a lead or they've a card or online information, um, again, you're going to be, "Of course not." Nobody is interested in talking about the end, or nobody wants to talk about life insurance. Um, what was going through your mind? Why were you? Um, why did you fill out the information? What was going through your mind at the time? Or you could say, of course, you're not interested. I haven't said anything interesting. And let's face it, nobody wants to talk about death and dying. It's inevitable, though. Or what was going through your mind at the time that you agreed to meet with me? Or when you filled out this information, find out the client's why. What was going through your mind when you provided the information asking to be contacted about the state approved final expense program? Now, I said a key word there, state approved. What it's doing is it's separating what you have versus what they know. State approved? Medicare is government regulated, so is life insurance. You're just honing in or bringing that, narrowing it down to state approved because it has to be approved by that product is approved by the state. So you're saying the state approved final expense program. Now, if they keep saying I'm not interested, then bluntly ask them, what alternative option do you have where you're not expecting your loved ones to pay for your funeral and other final expenses? What alternative option do you have? That's one of the things you have to sometimes hold their feet to the fire. If they have spent your resources, meaning they've filled out a lead card that you've paid for, or they filled out information online and it's been given to you, you've paid for that. You have the ability and you have the permission, for lack of a better word, to basically be like, hey man, what alternative do you have where you're not expecting a loved one to pay for your final expenses? People could say, oh, some people are smart and they'll say, oh, I'm just going to get a savings account. A savings account doesn't pass on to the next generation tax free, it doesn't avoid probate. Life insurance does all of that. So, what alternative do you have? If you don't use one of the plans that I've proposed, what alternative is there? So, that's objection number one. I'm not interested. Again, typically a pre programmed response. Here's the next one. Now is not a good time. You've put together a really compelling presentation. They like it, but they're getting cold feet. Now is not a good time. Here's the response back. Ask them the question back. What would make now a good time? What would make now a good time? Put it back on them. Again, a lot of times this is going to be a pre-programmed response. They want you to just walk away because they don't know. And they don't know what they don't know. Another response after you say what would make now a good time. I don't care if you've been in this business for 6 months, 6 days, or whatever. All you need to say is I've been involved in this industry for some time now, and there's never, I can be honest, there is never a good time. People will kick the can down the road, and when it is a good time, it's often too late. Typically, when somebody is approaching you about life insurance, it's too late. The doctor already gave them the diagnosis. The diagnosis is not good. And that means that the end is probably near, and insurance companies are not going to touch it. So don't talk about, bring it up about kicking the can down the road. Do you, don't you, and the other thing is leaving a little bit of insurance is better than leaving nothing at all. So another thing you can say, now is not a good time. Don't you think you owe it to your loved ones to do a little something now to help alleviate any financial burdens? Folks, we don't know when we're going to take our last breath. We can all agree on that. We just know that there is an expiration date. We just don't know what that date is. So if people are going to kick the can down the road, at least consider getting a little bit of something. Once they've determined that they need more coverage, we'll revisit it. But let's get something on the books now. While now may not be a good time mentally, but it is a good time to get it done. So, what would make now a good time? I've been in this industry for some time now, and there's never a good time. And I've seen people kick the can down the road, and when it is a good time, that's usually when it's too late. And don't you think you owe it to your loved ones to do a little something now, leaving a little bit now rather than leaving nothing at all? Take another swing at that. Get back in the batter's box. Take another swing at that sale. Here's the next one. I can't afford it. So here's the response. I understand. I get it. Money can be tight. What alternative plan do you have that's going to pay for your final expenses? If you don't do a little bit of something now, it's going to fall back on your family. I'm a firm believer in leaving a little something is better than having nothing at all. Don't you think you owe it to your loved ones to do a little something now for them? And sometimes, and I put this in italics, find money for them. Find the money for them. Some people will say they can't afford it, but they may have multiple um, TV subscriptions for streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, whatever. Maybe they need to cut it back. Or maybe they are a, um, a latte a day Starbucks drinker. Well, that's not cheap. Or maybe they like to go out to eat a couple times a week. Cut it back to once a week. Stay in. When you go out to dinner, when you go out to eat for two people, it's easily 50, $60. Unless you're going to McDonald's, and then you're talking 70 or $80, right? It got expensive. No, but what I'm getting at though, cut it back. Ask them if they're willing to do it. See if there's a way, and you can even ask them if I can find a way, or if I can find um, areas in your budget that I could free up some money. Would you buy it? Because people you understand that there's the importance, and understand that when people are looking at final expense, folks, they realize that their end is that this is probably one of their last chances of getting coverage. So again, I understand, empathize with them, and say I understand. Money is tight. It's tight for everybody. What alternative plan do you have that's going to pay for your final expenses? Perhaps you need to find some money for them in their budget. And I'm a firm believer that leaving a little bit of something is better than leaving nothing at all. Folks, we can get them coverage for $30, $40 a month. It's cheaper than going out to dinner sometimes. And this one is another one that kicks me. The next objection, I need to think about it. Of course, we need to think about it. And the thing about it is when you are selling a final expense policy, you can future date the policy, typically up to about 30 days. So today being August 4th, they have until September 4th to pay their first premium. So with that in mind, you now can respond, of course, I want you to think about it. That is why I am not allowed to ask for any money or accept any money from you today. My job is to explain the program and get you qualified. That's my job. Explain the state approved, state regulated program and get you qualified. Once you are qualified, you're going to be sent a packet of information that you can look over and review and see everything that we've discussed today. Does that sound fair enough? So of course, I want you to think about it. That is why I am not allowed to ask for any money, take any money, accept any money from you in our appointment today. You can, when you're booking the appointment, put that out there because now they don't have that objection. You've covered it already. You've gotten ahead of it. My job is to explain the program, explain the state regulated program, and get you qualified for one of the state regulated programs. Once you're qualified, the company is going to send out a packet of information for you to look over and review, and you'll be able to see everything that we've discussed today. Fair enough? I need to think about it. You don't have to pay anything for 30 days. Here's the next one. Kind of goes in with I need to think about it is I need to talk this over with. This is usually when somebody is widowed or they're single and they have maybe a son, daughter, niece, nephew, somebody that they need to converse this with. So one of the ways to stay ahead of that is when you're booking the appointment, ask them or tell them, is there anybody you or make sure that anybody that you want to invite, um, a trusted family member, friend, to sit in on us, they're more than welcome to join us. That way, you've eliminated the I need to talk this over with whomever. Again, very similar. The response is going to be very similar to the response of I need to think about it. Yes, of course. I want you to talk this over with blah. Um, and let them know there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. The wrong way is to try to remember everything that we've talked about and try to recreate what I've said. The right way is to let me get you qualified for one of the state approved programs. The company's then going to send out a packet of information to you to then be able to review with that trusted individual. Again, my job is to get you qualified to explain the program. And that's again why I'm not allowed to ask for any money, accept any money, take any money during our appointment today. Do you think that you'll be able to sit down and talk with so and so within the next 30 days? And kind of going back to the previous slide where I need to think about it, do you think that you'll be able to come up with a decision in the next 30 days? The answer is going to be yes. They'll be able to talk about it, but get them qualified, get that packet of information in their hands so that they can then make that conversation. The premium draft isn't going to happen for 30 days. If they do nothing, the premiums are going to draft. You're going to get paid. If they say they call you, which quite often they don't do that, believe it or not, to say I don't want it, I've decided against it. Again, going back to finding out their why, what's their alternative options. But this is just a way to do it and a way to kind of go around that. So get them qualified and then leave it up to them to cancel it. They have up to 30 days to do that, plus the free look period. So those are the common objections that we've talked about that you're going to hear on a final expense appointment, really any insurance appointment. So additional sales tips that I have here to kind of finish things off. And if you do have questions, please type those questions. I'll be happy to get them answered for you. Um, again, some additional sales tips, and I mentioned this a couple of times. You're going to mention this a couple of times in your presentation, setting appointments, all of that. My job is to get you my job is to see what state regulated, state approved program you're going to qualify for. I'm not allowed to ask for any money or accept any money. When setting the appointment, ask, is there anyone that you would like present at our meeting? If so, invite them. It could be a son or daughter. By saying inviting somebody, you automatically are eliminating the doubt that you are, whether or not you're legit, because now you're inviting an outsider that you don't know to the meeting. So that also provides some credibility for you. And please feel free to invite anyone you want to our meeting. And again, find out their why. When you sit down at their kitchen table or they come into your office, find out their why. What was going through your mind at the time when you were filling the lead information out? What was going through your mind when you agreed to meet with me today? They're going to tell you their reason. When you are putting together your sales presentation, you are going to hit that why time after time after time. So a lot of times they don't want to leave any debt behind. They want that taken care of. They don't want to leave any financial burden. You're going to talk to them and you're going to use their words to show them this is going to make sure that your son or your daughter is not going to have to tap into their savings to pay for your final expenses. And you're just going to keep bringing it back to that, bringing it back to their why. So at this time, I'll take any questions that you might have. As we're kind of wrapping things up today, again, I appreciate everybody's time. We have a lot of trainings coming up here, folks, a lot of them. We have a Boost Your Book meetings where we're helping Medicare agents increase their retention, referrals, and increasing their overall revenue. So we have that going on. September is right around the corner. That means it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. We've got a lot of trainings coming up for that. One training in particular is coming up on Tuesday, September 30th. It's going to be an in-person seminar here, and it is going to be our Life Insurance Sales Academy. That's going to be we're going to finalize the month of September. Again, that's going to be the Life Insurance Sales Academy. We're going to be talking about final expense, but other lines as well, different riders, different things, how to sell it, different purposes for life insurance. We're going to be talking about all of that. So that's coming up here at URL at our office on Tuesday, September 30th. Be on the lookout for those announcements and get involved in those trainings. So I'm not seeing any questions coming in. So if you do need anything, you can always reach out to me. You can also join your other colleagues on Facebook through our Final Expense Community page, URL's Final Expense Community, where you'll be able to receive timely announcements, receive coaching, connect with other people in the final expense world. So with that, if you need anything, my number is 717-216-8041, 717-216-8041. Appreciate everybody's time, especially appreciate everybody's partnership. And if you need anything, please do not hesitate. Give me a call. Ask. We're here to serve. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And we'll talk soon. Bye for now.